Nicola Peltz, Victoria Beckham Fury. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. In an earlier video today, I explained how the new 3-part docuseries from Victoria Beckham has resulted in the ignited fury for this one's wife. In essence, because this one's wife is a narcissist, she faces unfavourable comparisons with Victoria Beckham, and also the fact that arising from this show, Victoria Beckham is likely to be praised and regarded in a more authentic fashion, something that this one's wife wants, and that her viewing figures will be better also. All of this amounts to a threat to control for this one's wife, resulting in that heated ignition of fury as a means to drive her to nullify that threat to control. But it's not just this one's wife who will experience fury as a consequence of this docu-series. Daughter-in-law Nicola Peltz will also. How so? Well, previously you ought to be aware that I undertook an assessment of Nicola Peltz and determined, as putting her under the Tudor scope, that she is a narcissist also. She ensnared Brooklyn Beckham, and we have seen the all too common dynamic where a narcissist enters the family and ensnares a member of that family, isolating them from other members of that family with consequential fallouts. It's been done so many times, and this one's wife is a prime example of doing so with Prince Harry, who readily entered her awful shared fantasy. Brooklyn Beckham has gone down the same road also, ensnared by a narcissist and thus ostracised from his family because it's easier for Nicola Peltz to control him that way, and he doesn't fully understand what she is and believes that it is his family that is problematic and that he needs to be loyal to his wife. Ostensibly a pleasant young man, although not particularly clever, he, like many people, fall for this. And one day he will wake up and rue the fallout that has occurred with his parents, where he has been controlled and influenced by his wife's narcissism. But in relation to this show, this is going to prove problematic for Nicola Peltz also, and here's why. Anita Singh, writing for the Daily Telegraph, provides us with some information about what's gone on in the docu-series. For example, she explains that Victoria has put an awful lot of effort into looking as relaxed as possible. It's a fly-on-the-wall show made by David's own Studio 99. Victoria addresses her company's multi-million-pound losses, bailed out first by David and then by an investor who went through the books and despaired. Spending was so extravagant, Victoria admits, that people were doing bizarre things like flying chairs from one side of the world to the other. I hear it now, and I'm horrified, but I allowed that to happen, she states, and I think part of the problem was people were really afraid to tell me no. Victoria acknowledges that everyone considers her to be a miserable cow, but says she can't relax in the paparazzi glare. I'd rather not be that person. I'd love to have the confidence to walk out of a restaurant and smile, or stand on a red carpet and smile, but I just can't do it, she admits. The awkward, uncool kid who kept at the dance lessons even when her teacher hid her at the back for being fat is still in there somewhere. It demonstrates that she is a woman that's plagued by insecurities, not in the way that a narcissist is, but with regard to insecurities about her self-worth, and something that she's been seeking to overcome through her performances and now through her world of fashion. Victoria's determination and work ethic have seen her through, instilled in her by her parents, who were interviewed in the show and come across as thoroughly decent people. David is a constant throughout the 3 episodes, a supportive and devoted husband. There is no mention of Rebecca Lewes, you'll be unsurprised to hear, which, if you're not aware, is who he was alleged to have had an affair with. Now, it then moves on to the aspect which is going to cause a problem for Nicola Peltz. But there is a Brooklyn-shaped hole in this documentary. The Beckhams, other children, Harper, Cruz and Romeo, have walk-on appearances. But Brooklyn and his wife Nicola Peltz are seen for a grand total of 4 seconds, shot from afar on the red carpet at Victoria's show. This was September 2024, and within months Brooklyn was reported to be completely estranged from his parents. This is what is going to get to Nicola Peltz, the fact that she wasn't involved, and nor was Brooklyn. Now, this will exhibit the hypocrisy of the narcissist, who on the one hand has made it perfectly clear that she doesn't want to have anything to do with David and Victoria Beckham, and by extension the other Beckham children. So if that's the case, which is part of her method of asserting control over Brooklyn by isolating him, and also by asserting control over David and Victoria Beckham by ignoring them, you would think, logically, would you not, well, if you don't want anything to do with these people, you're not going to complain when they don't include you in Victoria Beckham's docuseries, are you? But the narcissist will do so. Why? First of all, Nicola Peltz as a narcissist will not recognise the hypocrisy of her behaviour because her narcissism will blind her to it. Secondly, the world ought to revolve around her. And therefore, the fact that she's not included in the programme, and nor is her husband, tells her that she doesn't matter. This will wound her. A 4-second appearance is nothing. And when she sees that the other children are involved, this will sting. It will wound her. She won't rationally say to herself, well, it's no wonder I'm not involved and Brooklyn isn't involved because we've fallen out with them, so I can't expect them to involve us in the programme. No, that consideration and reason is absent. Instead, what will happen? Her victim mentality will take over. This is typical of your mother. This is exactly the type of thing, Brooklyn, that I've been complaining about. See what she's gone and done? We were at the Fashion show, but they barely showed us, and it was shot from afar. She's done this deliberately because she hates me, and she hates you for being with me. What did I tell you? She's had it in for me from the very beginning. And the brainwashed Brooklyn will look upon it and think to himself, well, you may well be right. Everybody else is included, but we're not. You might think that they'd offer an olive branch, perhaps borrowing it from Harry and this one's wife, so that we would be included. Perhaps that could be seen as some kind of building the bridges, but no. And unfortunately, whilst it is sensible for Victoria Beckham to have very little to do with Nicola Peltz for the reasons of the implementation of a no-contact regime and in dealing with a narcissist, the problem is that in so doing, it also feeds into the narrative that Nicola Peltz will be feeding to Brooklyn Beckham. Namely, your mum hates me, your mum doesn't like me, your mum's nasty, look at the way that she behaves. Regrettably, you're not able to win in that regard. This is the smearing that the narcissist engages in by way of response to her exclusion. She's not going to contact Victoria Beckham direct. Her narcissism won't allow her to do that as part of the self-defense mechanism that it is. But the knowledge that they are not included in the programme for more than 4 seconds wounds. This threatens control, and therefore, unable to assert control directly, this causes Nicola Peltz to move to the second indirect assertion of control subconsciously by smearing Victoria Beckham to her son. Your mum hates me, your mum doesn't like me, look what she's done, she's entirely petty. And Brooklyn Beckham, having picked a side, staying with his wife and ostracising his parents, will invariably agree. And therefore, this provides reinforcement to the narcissist that she is right and gives her that sense of control. And furthermore, it's also evidence in the plagued mind of Brooklyn Beckham that maybe his wife is right and that it is his parents that are the problem. Thus, once again, understanding the narcissistic dynamic helps you realise the impact upon Nicola Peltz as a narcissist, what her reaction is, and the consequential impact upon her ensnared intimate partner primary source. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.